It's your boy Juju.
It's your boy Lip.
Welcome back to X Black Box. I know we're catching up through the week, so we're gonna have to we're gonna have to get this one because we can't let Kanye go. We can't. This show was a choice, just to let you know.
Kanye.
What real Kanye West stand up?
Oh man, let's just have a moment of silence for the real Ye. I don't even know. To be honest,
I know where to start. I'm gonna get into this nigga's foot into his asshole. Excuse my language. I don't know what the fuck Kanye is thinking. I don't know what the hell he was doing. I watched that interview with Charlemagne, and I saw the whole Trump hat thing and how he identifies with this man. And at first, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of sided with Kanye because I knew what he was talking about.
What he was trying to say.
Yeah, the ultimate message. But I had to listen to. See, that's Kanye's problem. He doesn't listen to other people's opinions, and that's what I did. I had to ask my boy Lip. I had to ask my other best friend Brian, both our best friend. And you just can't be going out saying reckless stuff like that, man. You can't do it.
I mean, you can, but then me, you, anybody else said something that far off, it probably wouldn't look as glamorous as Kanye. In other terms, I mean, people do think he's off. They think he's gone. He went off the Richter scale. But I understand what he was trying to say. It just wasn't well put together, or
it wasn't.
It was just kind of like, I get what he was trying to say, but where he lost me was when he said, "Well, he said slavery was a choice." Now, I've seen many opinions and different sides of what he meant when he said that, or what we thought he meant when he said that. I'm still trying to figure out what he meant. Well, I kind of, I've been thinking about my own opinion. Thought about a lot of different avenues of what he was trying to say.
I want that old Kanye. I don't want that new Kanye. That's what I wanted to say.
I don't really know what he meant when he was like, "It's a choice."
This is my opinion. This is what I think he was saying. I think he was saying that, black people as a whole, slavery was not a choice. Let's get that understood and understanding. Excuse me. People were dragged from their home. People were sold by other folks. People were beaten, killed, raped, pillaged. It wasn't a choice. But I think where Kanye was saying for back then is, we are smart people. We are resilient. Why didn't we get together and try to overthrow these people that were taking advantage of us and, come together and take our freedom back? Yeah. But at the same time, that's what I think he was trying to say for back then, and for now, that was just my opinion. Yeah. And just for now, I think it's talking about the mental slavery that we have. And, for money, through education, what we think we should be doing in life, and us as black people, we should be having our own freedom and our own thing, Asian community might have, or Jewish community, or, just some kind of ethnicity, how they have their own thing going, and we're so disenfranchised and we're so caught up in everything else, and these companies and government are just making a killing off of us. We're how can I say, black people as a whole, we do a lot of things like fashion. We spend a lot of money on hair care, music, food, hot sauce, shit. We spend a lot of money on these things, but yet we don't have businesses of our own, big conglomerate businesses that just run a whole section, that we can go through. It's just all these other folks making money off us, and we're so disenfranchised that we have no freedom.
I think,
like I said, it's just an opinion. It's an opinion.
I see what you're saying. Maybe he was trying to touch on it, that it was a choice as far as mental capacity, meaning
Yeah.
Nobody. We could have, they could have banded up together and overthrew their masters, but I think it's a little bit more deeper than that.
Yeah, sure, because they didn't have weapons back then.
They didn't.
They didn't have a military. Didn't have a militia. I mean, there have been uprisings in slavery history, but they didn't have horses. They didn't have the military training. They didn't, no education. No, come on. So,
I mean,
it makes no sense, man.
I mean, honestly, they as in the mental or the slave owners, they, it's basically as a common day what's going on right now. They took religion, scared the hell out of people with it, and took some really, really, bad things. Like they would rape women in front of other women, other slaves. And
that wasn't a choice.
They would castrate people.
That wasn't a choice.
I mean, people were probably scared to, you could say and argue, well, yeah, he's talking about a mental aspect of them saying it was a choice as far as they could have rose up. But man, what would you feel? What would you feel if they took your best buddy because he tried to run away and was was trying to get out, right? They took your best buddy and stood him in front of everybody, your friends, family, loved ones, everybody, and castrated him in front of everybody, and they said, if anybody else tried to run away, this was going to happen. You're
not going to do it.
You're going to be scared.
Trust me. You see this today with, like, in certain communities, like, it could be with, we'll just take the police as an example, that some black male gets beaten or somebody's getting shot.
Right.
So when you see this on the news or you hear about it,
what the hell you think going to happen to
you? Yeah, so you get nervous. You be like, okay, I would never want that to happen to me.
There's a chance that could happen to me. Shit.
But so that's like the perfect example of showing you how a slave would not think about trying to disobey what somebody else is telling them and not go against that. That makes no freaking sense. And then he's trying to agree with a man he knows nothing about his policies, what he's about. It's just he agrees that he was just a lone wolf and everybody told him he couldn't do it, and he identifies with that. But that's like my friend Brian said, that's irresponsible of him. And let's not get this messed up. Kanye's on a journey. He's trying to get it right. He's trying to figure out in his mind what he's trying to represent and what he's really trying to say. At first, I thought it was him free thinking, and I just said, he is, but there's still stupidity coming out after I talk to my friends. Yeah, it's a little after, but he's on a journey. He just doesn't know how to put it together right now. I mean,
the right way, at least.
Yeah, we've all been in life through a personal journey where we're trying to figure something out, but it just doesn't hit us, and eventually we run into that wall, and everything comes to us. Kanye is far from that point, but the rhetoric is just crazy, Lip.
I think he was just trying to, in his mind, he's on that, that path to figuring things out. But in his mind, it makes sense to him.
Yeah.
But for the millions of masses, it didn't, and a lot of people felt betrayed because if y'all remember, y'all think back to his first album, and then Late Registration.
Right.
Kanye. A lot of people, and that's the thing that I saw as far as the people feeling betrayed. It wasn't just black people that felt betrayed. It was people who lived in the Bronx or in the ghettos and the hoods and tough lives, and they had no way out because let's be honest, blacks just aren't limited to living in the hood and so forth and so on. A lot of people related to Kanye on many one or more occasions, on one or more levels, because maybe they didn't have a dad that was there, and all they ever did was want their dad, and how to deal with that void in their life, or maybe they had a mom who they saw was out, they come out or come home from school and she out there shooting up and on crack cocaine doing things. These are things that Kanye reached a lot of people. His fan base was strong and grew, and not because he made good music, but also because of his message that he was sending. And then a lot of people felt betrayed because then you go and say you side with a man who, to a lot don't make no sense. And
many people consider a racist, a bigot. He's an idiot. That's what I'm not gonna call him an idiot, but that's what you see other people call him. I don't agree with his ways, but you can't just come out swinging like that and not considering, how this is going to sound, and you're on a major platform. That's like suicide murder. But I know he's at a point in his life where you hear from all these news outlets that he just surrounded himself with family and didn't really come out, or friends, and he's doing his Yeezys, and he was just to himself, and
maybe I wonder how the community would respond. So he had a huge opening overseas. I forget what country he was in, and the websites and the stores had security. The stores had security staff and all this stuff, and they had numbers, and they had a system how they were gonna let people in to get his new shoes, his new clothing line, and all that stuff. And nobody showed up. Nobody showed up. Wow. Nobody showed up. And
this is before the Kanye thing, or before
this was after his whole
it was all messy.
His whole mess. Nobody showed up, right? And the websites went from saying that we only got a limit of this and so forth, so on, saying now they're gonna mark it down and put it on sale because nobody online in the stores. There's no online traffic.
Oh, damn! So I didn't even know that, dude.
This is overseas. And so it's a big deal because did the message vibrate that strong? Because they think, other people see the man in charge here, what he clearly represents. And
Lip, when I look at Kanye too, from us personally, me and Lip have gone through personal growth, free thinking, and getting to a level where we're at now.
Right.
So Kanye makes a lot of good points on some things. And the other points are just pure stupidity. And, I see a lot of selfishness in there. And I see depression. And, it's just, he's being human and going through so many things. Because we don't know what goes on in this man's life. I mean, he said it in Charlamagne's interview. We didn't know all that. We didn't know the man is on medication still. The dude saying he went and got lipo because everybody was going to tease him. I looked at this. I said, that has to be the most selfish crap you could ever say. Somebody can't make you do something. And you're going to do something because you feel some kind of way. That's a self-choice, man.
A.k.a. his wife, isn't the best. Could you guys really see yourself having a serious conversation with Kim?
I'm sure she loves that man to death. But, just...
Like, what? So Kanye really mean you're not feeling good? Do you need some aspirin?
I'm sure she's not dumb as a rock, but...
I hope not.
I don't think she is, but, Hey,
but that's his team.
Hey, that's what the media puts out about her.
Team.
And, the image that is built around her. She's a smart woman. She's built a whole business around her. So she's not an idiot, but just when it comes to not personally speaking, but, what's the word
I'm going to say this. She's probably the smartest fifth grader you ever seen. I ain't calling her stupid, but in her right mind, but I say she's probably the smartest fifth grader you probably ever seen.
Yeah, I used to love that show. They're smart.
You guys get what I'm saying. They're witty. They can figure things out, but would you really trust yourself to have a heavy conversation with Kim? Probably not, because I wouldn't do it. I'd probably have a deep, more intellectual conversation with my children versus Kim, because Kim would probably talk you in to go get some lipo because you feel like you're gonna get teased.
Man, nah, man, and we don't know who this man is really surrounding himself with personally, but I'm glad there's people around him like Charlamagne, T.I., people that are throwing the extra word his way. Like, come on, man, you didn't even think about how the other people are gonna feel or what other people's opinions are on the matter. You just went out and said what you want to say. You can always do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you got to be ready for the backlash.
Yeah.
And, you shouldn't always go out there trying to please the people that don't like you. Don't worry about that. But you got to be conscious of what's really going on in the world.
Right.
And, like I seen this thing where interview on, I think it was NBC or MSNBC, where Charlamagne was giving an interview, and he was like, he's coming from a rich standpoint, and I really agree with that. I'm pretty sure Kanye remembers from being
But it's so far gone though. It's so far gone, and you kind of get. There's a reason why. If you notice, if you talk to any like basketball player, football player, artist, actor, actress, they always say one thing that always stuck out to me: remain humble. They always keep something around to remind them where they came from.
Right.
To remind them to be humble, remain humble. You know why? Because, come on now, if you became rich and you hit it off and became overnight sensation, you went from this to this, and then that was your life, and you continue to make your money. You're gonna forget what it's like to walk into a Target store and say, "Okay, I have X amount of money for X amount of things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera." Mm-hmm. Now you went from that to being able to walk into a Target store and buy whatever you want it is that you want to buy. You kind of lose your humility after that. You kind of lose your humbleness. You will.
You're basically being blinded.
Yeah, because now you don't have to worry about it. You can walk in and just
everyday people don't have the money and the backing and the platform to do this. That's not Kanye's fault.
Nah,
but remember, we're still living down here on Earth, and he's on goddamn Jupiter and outer space.
He's in Wyoming.
And we're in the bottom of the goddamn ocean just trying to survive. So, everything he says doesn't apply to us. But, I do agree with him saying breaking away from the mental slavery that,
definitely.
Communities should own their own stuff. There should be, like a Jewish community, a black community. A dollar should circulate 3 times in our community before it exits out. Asian, white. We should all have that opportunity.
We should.
And, but Kanye, he needs to get it together, man, because evidently he told you he was taking drugs before and he was out of his mind. And I don't know what to say with the man. He needs goddamn counseling.
The comment that just resonated was just slavery was the choice. Because I was trying to, because I didn't really, first I didn't jump down his throat because I was trying to understand his, where he was trying to come from. And I just, I'm trying to wrap my head around it, and I want to talk to, a few more people about, pick their brains and get their opinion of where they feel like he was maybe trying to come from, or what kind of, where his mind state was, or for him to say something that crazy. Because if you go back to like late registration and college dropout, I beg to differ that Kanye would not say slavery was a choice.
But I want people to remember this too. People change, okay? Things happen in folks' lives, or people go through a growth, or people become something that they don't want. Change is a part of life. Change is a part of growth. So you're never going to get back to old Kanye. I mean, I'm sure there's some parts of them left in there, but old Kanye ain't coming back, people. So please stop wishing that and hoping that. He ain't going back to late registration. He's not going back to
I think more people are saying, like, the message here resonated with the struggles that people actually go through on a daily basis. Right. And now it's kind of like, well, maybe you don't forget those kind of life lessons. You don't forget watching your mom struggle. You don't forget not being able to eat dinner every night. You don't forget having to save your lunch from school in the afternoon because that's your dinner. You know what I'm saying? You don't forget those kind of things, those kind of lessons. So I think that's what a lot of people are kind of like, hey, damn, man, what happened? Because you was 10, so that's why I feel like where people are at right now with Kanye. So we gonna see. He's got 3 projects. He's got his album. He's got one that he's got 3 albums. He's got his album. He's got an album coming out with his artist that he has on his label, Pusha T, and then he's got one with Nas. So we'll see.
He's a well-perceived, loved man. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's a great father, a great person at heart. If you probably just sat down and were just around him and got to know who he is. But, people around him got to be checking him more too. And, I wish the best for Kanye. I wish he reaches the financial freedom that he wants, to be a black business owner, own his own thing. I hope he's the next Nike. I hope he's the next goddamn Adidas.
Where he wants to go.
I wish him the best in, self-empowerment and the community empowerment. But Kanye, you got to get some counseling, man. Just talking to your friends is not your counseling. You need to sit down with somebody that's just an opposite party, and you can just let it all out.
whatever it is that's got you,
Feeling some kind of way.
maybe he's never dealt with the loss of his mom. I mean, like from somebody who my real dad wasn't there, and then my mom, she did a lot. I understand, like that was his rock, that was his everything,
Man.
So, but I think a lot of people nowadays just got to deal with it. They have to face it and deal with it, and a lot of people don't because they just, I don't, maybe they're not strong enough, maybe they're not capable. But I want to see these 3 projects that he's got going up, especially his project. I really want to listen to it. I want to check it out because I really want to, I want to hear the message that he's saying, and I want to be able to. I just want to see where he's at. This will give us a good idea of where he's at. And maybe he's soul searching. Maybe he's got something going on in Wyoming.